Hello, my friends. Right now I'm starting a new baby blanket project. I want this blanket to be in two colors and a square shape. So I'm aiming for something around 70 centimeters to 70 centimeters, but it may vary, it's okay. I'm going to have it in this beautiful baby blue and this white with small blue flakes in it. I am going to use the blue in this border and also on the letter. And the white in the background here. So I will do the background in knit stitch and the border in seed stitch. But this letter, first I will cover the whole place with knit stitch with white, and then I'll work the letter on top of it. So I won't have to worry about the letter at the when I'm making this complete square shape. I will work for the letter afterwards. So which means if you're going to use a different letter, that's not a problem. You can do that following this video. So I will start with casting on 150 stitches, and I will start with seed stitch. I have a tutorial on seed stitch if you want to watch it. So this is the yarn Ören Bayan, and it's 100% acrylic. It's for babies, and it is good for 3.5 needles. And that's what I will be using. I'll be using a 3.5, but I'll be using a circular needle. And now I will start by casting on 160 stitches with the blue. Let's start the first row of seed stitch together. As I told you, right now it is one purl followed by one knit. So it is like as if you're starting rib stitch, one by one rib stitch. What's different is the back side, okay? The back side you go with the opposite. So now one purl. When I'm doing the purl stitch, I have my yarn at the front and I enter the stitch from the right side, wrap my yarn around and pull through, and then I go take my yarn, because now I'm preparing for a knit stitch. I take my yarn at the back side and I enter the stitch from the left, and then this is a knit stitch. So I will complete these 150 stitches with one purl and one knit, and then I will show you the second row as well. We will do that together as well. Also, I will put a link here. I have a video showing you how to have neat ends here with seed stitch. So if you're not going to do a second border, if you don't plan to do that, make sure your ends look nice. So you can just check that as well. I'm sure that will be helpful. So now I'm just doing one knit and one purl whole round. Okay, I will see you at the end of this round. So I completed round 1 and now I'm doing round 2, and I'll show you how to do the second round. So I always skip the first stitch, and this is not specific to seed stitch, so I'll just do that. Now let's see, we have here a knit stitch. Okay, you can understand because of the V shape here, and this is a purl stitch. So when I see a knit stitch, I will do a purl on it. Okay, so I'll have my yarn in the front and I will do a purl stitch. Now the next here, I see this horizontal bar, so I understand that this is a purl, so I will do a knit stitch. So you don't have to check every time. From now on, you can just go on by doing one knit, one purl. But let's check together once more. This is a knit stitch because you can see the V shape here. Okay, so because it's a knit, we will do a purl. We are doing the opposite. So we have the yarn in the front and we will do one purl and then we'll do one knit. Is that correct? Yes, because here we have the horizontal bar. It means this is purl. So we will do one knit stitch. So yeah, you can just go faster. One purl and one knit. And every now and then you can stop and check if you are doing correctly. Let's check. So this is, you can see the V shape here, right? You can see the V. It means it's a knit. If it's a knit, I'm going to do a purl. To do a purl, I have my yarn in the front. So this is how you shape seed stitch, and this is how it starts to look. And yeah, you will understand the pattern much better once it grows. And this is how I'm going to keep on going. Just knit on purls and purl on knits. Okay. Now you have to decide how thick you want to have the border. I'm thinking 10 centimeters. Here, I'm thinking having this 10 centimeters here, 10 centimeters here, and 50 centimeters here. So I'll go something like this, and then it will be here to change the colors, and I will meet you here. You can do it much more thicker or thinner, just it's up to you. Okay, so let's meet when we are all around here. So friends, I have been working on the seed stitch border, and I have come so far, and this is how it looks. And right now, actually, I am here. So I have finished this bottom edge, and it is time to change the white color and with the knit stitch. To do that, I will not cast off, because as you can see, the blue will keep on going upwards. Instead, I will attach the white yarn here, but I will not cut the blue yarn. I will continue with the white yarn. Also, I will not carry the blue yarn as well until here. Then here, I will leave the white yarn and attach a new blue yarn. So I will have one blue yarn for this part attached to my work, white yarn attached for this part, and another blue yarn attached here. So I will have 3 balls of yarns attached to this little piece of work. Let me show you how to attach the white yarn and how to change colors in between the work. So when you're changing colors, there is this one very little trick, but if you don't do that, if you just attach the white yarn and start knitting, you will end up having a cleft here, because the blue yarn and the white yarn won't have any connections. To have that connection, we will just twist the yarns once, and that will be enough, and I will show how to do that to you right now. Time to attach the white yarn. So I know there are many other ways of doing this, but as you know, I'm doing things in the most simple way in this channel. So I will just attach it to the last stitch here. You can do it with your hand, or you can do it with the help of a crochet hook, and I will just put a knot here. So this is how I will attach the white yarn. Okay, so now you can't just start knitting with the white yarn, because then there will be a hole in between. To avoid having that hole, as I told you, we will make a cross, just a little X shape. So we will twist the yarns. But when you're making the X shape, make sure you're using the old color on top. Okay, so I have made an X shape here, as you can see, and I have the old color on top. Okay, so now I'm holding it here, and with the white yarn, now I can start knitting. So what this does is it creates a tiny bit of connection between 2 colors, and then you don't end up having a cleft in between 2 colors. So up until the end, I will just go and knit with the white. So I'm doing simple knit stitch until here with the white color. Okay, here when connecting, I just made a switch, and I will keep on doing that at every attachment side. And there is actually nothing else to worry about in this project, just this. And then at the very end, we will do the letter, hopefully. So let's meet at the end of this row where we attach the 3rd yarn. I will meet you here. Let's do a few more together, a few more knit stitches. If you need help with this, you can check my video. This is one of the most basic stitches in knitting, and this is how it works. Okay, see you at the end of this row. So I have done the whole row in knit stitch, and here I am at the end of this row. So it's time to attach a new blue yarn. I have 18 stitches at the beginning and at the end. You can do it differently. How I decided to have 18 is that I made this like a triangle, and I wanted to make sure that it's equal. So that's why I left 18. You can do it less, more, doesn't matter. Okay, just make sure you have on both sides the same number of stitches. So now the white yarn is the old one, and the blue yarn is the new one. The new blue. Okay, not the one that's attached at the beginning. Get a new ball of yarn. So first, let's attach this to our last stitch and just make a knot, tie a knot. Okay. Now we have the blue yarn and we have the white yarn. Okay, we will make a X, but remember we will have the old color on top. Okay, so I will make an X shape like this with the old color on top, and I will put it here. I will hold this here, and I will hold the blue yarn on my yarn right hand. And now remember, we have seed stitch here, and the following stitch is a knit stitch. So I will do a purl stitch. So I will take the blue yarn at the front, and I will make a purl stitch. And then it will follow with a knit and with a purl. So when you pull it tight enough, you will see that there is no hole here. Yeah. And then I will finish the row. I will come back, and here I will show you again how to change the colors. I will show you one final time. See you then. Now the first round is finished. I did blue, white, and blue again. And then I turned back, okay? And from the back side, I did the blue. And now it's time, now I'm at the back side of here, okay? So I already have the white yarn attached. All I have to do is switch to the white yarn, okay? And because at the front it was knit stitch, at the back I will do purl stitch. So now I will use the same method to attach two sides. I will make an X. When I'm making an X, I will put the old color on top, okay? So here you can see that I have an X, and I have the old color, which is blue, on top. And I will continue doing purl stitches with the white, okay? And then I can leave the blue and continue with the white until I reach the other blue yarn. So until I come to the end of this row. And now I'm doing purl stitches, because this is the back side. On the front side with the whites we are doing knit stitches, and at the back side we are doing purl stitches. And the difference between the two is only where you enter, okay? Also where you have the yarn. In purl stitch you have the yarn in the front, and you enter from the right side and then you pull through. When you're doing a knit stitch, you have the yarn at the back and you would enter from the left. But now we are doing purl stitches all round long. Now I will meet you once again when we reach here, the other color changing point. I will see you here. So I have reached the end of this row. Now it's time to leave the white and go back to the first blue yarn. I'm going to do it the exact same way. So first I'll take the two yarns and I'll make an X shape. When I'm making an X, I will use the old color on top. And now I have an X. Okay. Now let's put the white at the back of the needle and let's switch to seed stitch with the blue yarn. The last stitch was a purl stitch, so I will do a knit stitch. And when you do this first color change, just make sure you pull on both yarns so you have like this good fitting color change. Now I continue with the seed stitch. As I told you before, first I will finish the white background with knit stitch, then I will put the letter G on top of it. So actually from here on you can complete the blanket until the color by yourself with the techniques that we just learned. Let's discuss briefly. So you will, until here, up until here, you will have 3 balls of yarn attached. Here you will go with the blue and then switch to white, go with the white, switch back to blue. The blues are all in seed stitch and the white is in knit stitch at the front side, and at the back side you will do it in purl stitch. That's how you do that. And what else? Probably I'll meet you somewhere in the middle to show the progress, and also I will meet you here so we can do this switch together as well. And then finally we will see how to do the color G. Okay, let's see you somewhere around here. Bye-bye. Hello friends, I wanted to show you how far I've come in this project and how it should look when you have knitted so far. As you can see, I have 3 balls of yarn attached at the same time. One blue for this part, white for this part, and blue for this part again. We have seed stitches all around and knit stitch in the middle. Can you zoom in? So this is how this transition looks. And also here, please. This is how this transition looks, and I'm very happy with the method we're using. Also, you can see from the behind, it looks quite nice. What else? This is how I'm measuring it, because I want to have a square blanket. This is what I'm doing. And when you fold it like this, if you still have some extra part here, it means you have to knit further. So it means I have to go like this much more with the white. So I will do that. And yeah, you can say I'm almost finished, and hope you're enjoying this project as well. See you soon.
Başla.
Okay, so I'm really enjoying this project and I am at the almost end of it. I will make a copy of this seed stitch border to the top to finish it. Of course, we'll make a G letter, but that's the second part. So first I will get rid of these 2 balls of yarns and I will make sure I attach them securely here. And then I will use this blue yarn and I will just do seed stitch and back until I have enough height. So Okay, let's cut these yarns. And let's get rid of them. You can use a crochet hook if you wish. And I think it's a good idea to take it to the back side because this is the front side of our project. And you can just attach this to the horizontal bar here. And yeah, once you have a loop, you can just take this from the inside and this should be fine. Let me do it once again. So you can do it any way you want. You know, you don't have to do it one specific way. Just make sure it's not going to open. It's not going to unwind. Okay, so I just took it to the back side and I will take this horizontal bar here and I will pull this through and make a loop. Okay, and I will just make a knot. And this should be enough. So it didn't affect anything, as you see. So now I will just take this ball of yarn and I will just start doing seed stitch this side and then back. So let's do that. Now I want to start the seed stitch to the top here. Let's do up until here together. Okay. So this part you already know. When we see a pearl, we knit on it. And when we see a knit stitch, we take our yarn to the front and we purl on it. And afterwards we're going with one knit stitch and one purl stitch. And that's the old trick with this pattern. One knit and one purl. One knit, one purl. So I'm keeping you waiting so you can see how to transition to the white part. There is nothing special to do there, but who knows, some might find it confusing. So this is where I have attached to a new yarn. That's why it looks like this. Okay. Now we are almost there. So what we're going to do is just to keep on doing one knit and one purl. So I did one knit at the end, so I will start with one purl and then one knit, one purl and one knit, and I will keep on doing this up until the end of the row. So I counted the knit and purls, and I think I will make the color transition just perfectly, and that's only because I'm very lucky. If you're doing the same numbers of stitches with me, you should go very easily as well, but if not, I'll tell you what to do. Okay, so I've come to the end of the white, and now I want you to see how I'm changing. So I'm not changing colors, but yeah. So just nothing special. I just keep doing what I'm doing, one knit, one purl, and it just suits perfectly. And that's it. So now we will keep on doing one knit and one purl at the end of this row and then up until here. So make sure it matches the height here. And then we will do casting off, and afterwards I will show you how to make a letter G. Okay friends, finally I have reached the size that I desire and it's time to cast off. I will show you how to do that, but for a more detailed tutorial, I will also put the link in the description below, so you can click on that video as well. But this is how I do it. I will take this right needle and enter the first two stitches together, okay? 1, 2 together. I will take the yarn, wrap it around, and I will exit as 1. This was the first move. Now I will take this stitch on my right needle and transfer it back to my left needle. Now I will repeat. I will take my right needle, enter the first stitch and the second stitch together. I will yarn over and I will exit as 1. Now don't forget to take this stitch and transfer it back to the left needle. Let's do it one more time. You're closer. I will take the first stitch on my right needle and the second stitch, both. Now I will take the yarn, wrap it around and exit as 1. Now take this and transfer it back to the left. So I'm entering as if I will do a purl stitch. I'm entering from the right side, okay? Not like a knit stitch, but like purl stitch from the right side and from the right side, both. And then I wrap it around and I exit as 1. And the final move is to transfer this back to my left needle. And as you can see, it looks like this from this side and looks like this from the other side. Now I will keep doing this until the end of the row, and then it will be the end of, let's say, part 1. We will have a complete baby blanket. In part 2, we will try to work on this G letter and how to make it look really good here. We'll see if I can manage that. Bye bye. So I have completed the square blanket. Let's go into some details and then we'll work on the letter. So here I have knit stitch and here I have seed stitch. So this is how the borders look. I will put the link below in the description. Make sure you watch that video if you don't know how to have this neat looking borders. And now you got to decide how big you want to have the letter, and then we'll do some math and then we'll start working on that. Now, welcome to the second part of this project, of this video. Now we have a blanket ready. We can start working this letter G on our blanket. But first, let me talk you through the preparation process. So because my friend's name starts with the G, I will use the letter G, and I just Googled online and I found this pattern that I liked and it looks easy. But when you measure it, if I do it exactly here, so if I use every stitch here, it will be like this huge blanket. It'll be something like this big, and it doesn't work for me. So I decided to increase this pattern 4 times. And by doing that, I will need to do every stitch 4 times, but then it will be just very long G. So in order to avoid that, this really ellipse G, then I will need to repeat every line 4 times as well. So every single stitch here on my project will be 16 stitches, just 4 vertically, 4 horizontally, 4 vertically. It will be just a 4 by 4 square. Every stitch here will be 4 to 4, 16 stitches here. So it would be very difficult for me to follow. So I decided to work on a paper first. And what I did is I just made a grid. I did this on canva.com, but you could do it on a piece of paper by hand or just on PowerPoint, wherever you find easy. And I just made every stitch into these 4 by 4 squares. So then it looked like very mechanical to me, like these these transitions, very stair-like transitions, I thought, yeah, I could just smooth these. And I just worked on the details a bit. And from this, like here, I made this. Okay, whichever you prefer better. So now I will use only this as I'm working. And when you see how big it is something like this. And the size of the stitches I have and the V's here, they're very close. So I think it will be really something around this big. And I think it looks well proportioned, maybe like here. So this was the planning phase of it. Now we will start working these stitches on our blanket, but I will show you how to do it on a different sample with bigger stitches so you can understand better, and then we'll start working on the original project. Friends, I decided to show you how to do the duplicate stitch on these colors because the colors I'm using for the blanket have these little stains, let's say, on it, and it's making it really difficult to understand how to do this, how to work this. So I will show you the tutorial on this duplicate stitch with these two different colors instead. Okay, so this is called duplicate stitching and we're working on knit stitch. So the base should be knit stitch, and on top of it we will cover the V's on the knit stitch with a different color, and we're going to make a shape that we want. Why do we prefer this, or when should we prefer this? I believe this is easier. For example, when you're doing the base, you don't have to count any stitches, you don't have to worry about different colors. You can just do the base very easily, don't worry about anything, and afterwards you'll just sit down, have your pattern, work the duplicate stitch, and then you'll be done. So sometimes you can prefer this. When you're working with duplicate stitch, you should have two ends of the yarn free. Okay, you can't have it attached to the ball of yarn. You should have both ends free. And now, although we're going to cover knit stitches, we're not going to use knitting needles. We're going to use such tapestry needles. Okay, something like this. You need to make sure that the hole in the needle should be big enough for your yarn to pass through. And when you're measuring the size of this yarn that you're going to cut, if you make it too short, then you have to do it over and over and again. If you make it too long, then you get the risk to tangle it. So you'll decide. After a few rounds, you'll decide the best length for you, the optimum length for you. So let's begin. So I have the yarn through the hole of the needle, okay? And all the time when I'm beginning from the back side, okay? The first move is entering from the back side of the work and entering from the bottom of the V. This means I'm starting here, okay? So each time I start from the bottom of the V. But first I should do something else. So if I do this and if I pull through, the yarn will just go away, okay? Just go through. So I need to attach it to somewhere. So if I'm going to start from here, if this is going to be my first stitch, then what I will do is I will work one side next to it, stitch next to it. I'll go through it and I'll just make a knot here just to secure this, okay? So this is too long. You don't have to leave it that long, but doesn't matter. It's okay. So now let's start. I have it here, so I will enter from here. So I hope you can see it easily. I'm entering from the bottom of the V, and then I pull through. Now what I need to do is I need to cover the right arm of the V and then the left arm, okay? To cover the right arm, if I enter here, the yarn will cover the right arm of the V. Afterwards, I need to cover the left arm. So I have to, let's do it in two motions first, but just watch, please don't repeat this. I will do this, to cover the V. And then I will come here to the top end of the left arm and I will pull through from there. And then I will finish at the bottom because I want to cover the left arm of the V. Okay, so this is the logic behind it. Okay, this is the logic behind it. So this has covered that V. But an easier way of doing this is, let's move one left. The first move is from the back side of the work and you enter from the bottom of the V. You do that. Then what you do is you enter here and then think, what is your next movement? You will exit here, right? So if you go parallel like this, it means you have entered here, pulled through, and then you have exited here. Okay? So this movement is to cover the right arm, and this movement is to get ready to cover the left arm afterwards. So let's do that. So I am going parallel, where not at the V that I'm planning to cover, one up, okay, one neighbor up. Okay, now I have covered the right arm. Now I will enter at the bottom of the V. But if I'm going to go this side, what would be clever? It would be clever to go like this. So I will enter the bottom of the V I'm working, and then I will exit from the bottom of the V. I will keep working, okay? So now I'm going parallel again. Before I went parallel here. Now I'm going parallel here. So I will be ready for my next move. So if you keep doing this, it means you will always go parallel into the V's, okay? Apart from the first you go from the back side and you go enter like this from the bottom of the V. But afterwards you will just go. So this is the V I'm trying to, this is the V I'm trying to cover, this, okay? So now I will go to the updoors neighbor, and I go parallel, okay? And then I will go parallel again, but where? Here. From the bottom of this V to the end, to the bottom of the V next door. Let's do once more. Let's see how it looks. So now, it is as if I exited from the bottom of this V. I want to go here because I want to cover this, okay? So it means I want to enter here. And then I want to exit here because afterwards I want to cover this. It means I'm going parallel like this. Let's go. Okay. Then I will enter here. That way I will be able to cover the left arm of the V. What is my next move? I want to exit from the bottom of the next V. Okay, so I go like this. Okay. Let's repeat once more and then we'll discuss other things. Now I want to cover this. So I go here. But I always go parallel. Think, where do you want to cover? I want to cover this left arm, so I will enter here. And I always go parallel. So you're done. Okay? This is how you do. Going this way. Now, let's go one level down. And let's go this way, okay? Because you don't want to cut it and start right over from the beginning. Instead, you can go this way as well. Now let's do that. So I have covered the right arm. Now I need to cover the left arm. But afterwards, I will go downwards, okay? I will start doing the level below it. So I need to enter here because I want to cover the left arm. Afterwards, the next V that I want to cover is the one here. So how do I start? I start from the bottom of that V. So I need to enter here. Okay, let's do it in two motions. I need to enter here to cover that. And then where do I exit? I exit at the bottom of the next V that I want to cover. So I need to exit here, okay? So let me do this V as well. I enter here because I want to cover the right arm first. I cover the right arm and then I cover the left arm. I will do it again. I will go one level down. So I enter here to cover the left arm, then I exit here. Okay? So if you're at the left end of your work and if you want to go one level below, what you do is when you're covering the left arm, instead of going like this, parallel as usual, instead you go like this. It makes sense, right? Here we go. Okay. So now let's keep on working this way. Okay? Let me show you how to do that. So I will skip the second round. I will work on the third round. Let's enter here. No, I'm sorry. Let's enter here. Because we're going to go this way, we will change our direction. First, I will cover the left arm. And then, still I'm going parallel. I want to cover the right arm. So I go like this. Still I'm going parallel. Afterwards, I need to cover this up. So I enter here. But where do I exit? I exit from the bottom of the next V. So again, I'm going parallel, but not this direction, but this direction. Just imagine, what do I want to do? Where do I want to enter and where do I want to exit? Okay? So now, when you're going to the right, you cover the left arm of the V first, okay? But always, your needle moves parallel if you're going right or left, not upside down, downside. But if you're going to the right or if you're going to the left, your needle makes two movements and both of them are parallel, okay? So you go like this. Now, I need to cover the right arm, so I enter here. Where do I exit? I need to exit here from the bottom of the next V. Okay? So, this is how you do it. Where do we enter? Here. Where do we exit? We go parallel. And I'm going this way, so I go this way parallel. Okay. So let's finish it here. And I'll show you other directions. I'll show you how to go upwards. So how do you finish? You go to the bottom of the V, but you don't exit anywhere else, okay? So you're done. Now just you need to secure your work. You pull through. Just make an easy knot, okay? Don't pull very hard because it won't look good. You can do it once more if you want. Okay. And then you can cut this. Okay. So this is how it looks from the back. Looks quite neat. And this is how it looks from the front. Okay. So let me start here again and I will show you how to go upwards. Okay. Or how to increase one, how to decrease one. Let's do those together. Okay, I'm ready. I have two ends free. I've cut this much of yarn and I'll start working here. So I want to start here. But first, I will go backwards and I will attach my yarn. From somewhere around here. Now I'm ready to work. So now I'm exiting from the bottom of the V. If I exit it from here, it means this is the V that I'm working on. Now we need to decide if we want to go this way or this way. Okay, let's go this way. If I'm going this way, I need to enter from here. Always I go parallel, you remember that. And I exit from here, okay? The first movement is you go one level up and the needle goes parallel, okay? Just imagine what you want to do. I want to cover the left arm of the V. Now, how should my needle go? First, I want to cover the right arm of my V. So I need to enter here. And then the next V first I will cover this. This movement will do that. Next, I need to exit from here so I can start doing these arms. If I want to exit there, instead of doing it in two motions, I can do it like this. So in my next movement, if I'm going from left to right, I start from the bottom of the V and I go right and I go parallel. So let's not think so much and do few stitches, okay? So I should go one level up and go parallel. From the bottom and I go parallel. From the bottom and I go parallel. I go one level up and I go parallel. This is the V that I'm covering and I go one up and I go parallel. I go one down and I go parallel. Now, after the next stitch, I want to go one level up. Let me show you how to go up first, okay? So first I cover the left arm. Now I'm going to cover the right arm. I will enter here, that's for sure, but where will I exit? The next stitch that I need to cover is this one because I will go upwards, okay? It means then you will enter here and exit here, okay? So I need to enter here because by doing this, let's do that in two motions, I will cover this. Now I need to exit here because this is the next stitch that I want to duplicate. Instead of doing it in two motions like I just did, could have done it in one by just doing so, like this, okay? So now I'm going from left to right. It means I will go parallel, but I will go in this way. So just by being calm and thinking about it, you can go any way you want. From right to left, doesn't matter. When you're working on a duplicate, I suggest you don't take all the needles, like the green and the purple. Instead, I suggest you take only the green. That's much better. It looks much better in the end. But you can do it the way you want to. So I'm going from left to right and my needle is moving parallel always. If I'm going sideways, my needle is going sideways as well. So now what I want to do with you is I will go one level up, but I will also increase. What do I mean increase? I will cover this one as well. Okay. Now I want to go one level up, but the next level will start from here, okay? Because sometimes you want this shape. So I will go up, but this won't be the next one. This will be the next one. So how do I do that? I enter here to cover the left arm of this. I enter here. And then I need to exit. Let's do it in one motion. Damn it. And then I need to exit from the bottom of the next V that I will cover, which is this one. So I exit here. Okay, you can just think about it and find it. I need to enter here because I need to cover this arm. And then I need to exit from the V that I will cover, from the bottom of the V that I will cover next. So this is what I do. Now, which way I'm going? I'm going from left to right. Means my needle will go from left to right. It will always go parallel, right? And it will go at one level up. Okay, so we enter here. Where do we exit? We go parallel. We exit from the bottom of the next V. When you're going sideways, your needle goes sideways. Okay, so it worked, right? Let's cover this arm as well. This level as well. So basically, with this knowledge, you can do any pattern you want. Because I think this gives you the logic behind this duplicate stitch. So you can go from left to right, from right to left, upwards, downwards. Just when you need to do something that you haven't done before, just stop and think, what is my next movement? Where should my needle be at the beginning of my next movement? And you exit there. Okay. Let's do it here as well when we're going from left to right. Now I will exit here and I want to go one level up and one extra right. Okay, so I want to increase like I did here, which means I will cover this one. Okay, and on the next level, I will not go directly upwards, but one to the right, which means I will enter here, but exit, not here, not parallel, but like this, diagonal. Okay. So now, where am I? I am at the bottom of the V that I want to cover. But now I will start going from right to left. So it doesn't make sense if I go like this. I should go like this, parallel like this. This way I will cover the right arm first. And then I will be ready to cover the left arm. I will enter here and I will exit here from the bottom of the next V. Okay. So this is how it goes. Parallel. So I think knowing all this should be sufficient to use this method. But if you have any questions, please write down and I will try to explain in the comments, and if that's not enough, I will make new videos about it. So just make sure that you check at the very end. I made a mistake when talking, but the rest, that was just very good. And also there are kids outside screaming, so that kind of confused me. But that's something I don't do very often, but I suggest that you do. With every few stitches, just turn the work around and check if everything looks fine, because this gets tangled very easily and it's difficult to correct mistakes. So it's better to check very, very often, okay? So this is how you do duplicate stitches. Most of the time your needle should go parallel. That's rule number 1. And when you're starting something new, you start from the bottom of the V, okay? That's the first move. And afterwards, most of the time you're going parallel. Unless you're changing levels, okay? If this level is finished and you're going one up or one down, then you need to go like this or like this just for once. But after that, you keep going parallel. Parallel from the up, parallel from the down. But you don't have to memorize anything. You just think, where do I want to cover? I want to cover this. Okay, so I'm here right now. I need to go here to cover this arm. Okay, now where do I want to exit? I want to exit here because then I will need to cover the left. So I go like this. Check, is this parallel? This is parallel. I'm doing correct. Okay, so according to my calculations, this should be my starting point, which means this should be this. So that is how I will start my work. And I'm really worried about this, but I hope it will turn out fine. Make sure when you're pulling, don't pull too tight. And now we will go to the upper end of this V, okay? You can do it in 2 movements, but let's do it faster. So let's exit here, which is where we would enter at our next move. We covered the right arm. Now let's cover the left arm. So if I enter to the bottom of that V. Now I'm very proud to share this final product with you. It's finally finished and let's talk about it. Okay, so I am very aware that I failed to put the G right in the middle. So it's a bit on the right and it should have started perhaps somewhere around here. So just, yeah, be more careful doing that. And let's see how it worked out. Let me show you the connections. I'm very happy with what I did there. I think they look very nice. And let's look more closely at the letter. So in the beginning, I screwed up a bit, but yeah, here I'm very happy with how it went. And yeah, let's see how it looks at the back side. So this is how it looks. So normally it looks like this, but you can't do it all with one piece of yarn. So you have to tie a knot and then cut the yarn and then start with a new one. That's why you will have some parts like this. So after you're finished, you need to hide the leftover yarn inside so it doesn't stick out, and that's why it looks like this. Normally it will look like this at the back. I hope you liked this video and the baby blanket. Please write down in the comments what you thought and if you're going to try it. And if you have any questions or any suggestions, you know, to make this better, please write down in the comments. I always try to reply to them and I'm learning a lot from them. And if you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing to my channel. Bye bye. Thank you for watching.